Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor with Occasio Realty. And today I am here with Stephanie Robbins, the President and CEO of Robbins Plumbing. So, welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here.
You're
Um,
very
yeah, so let's just kind of dive right in. Tell me a little bit about Robbins Plumbing.
so Robbins Plumbing was founded in 2004,
Okay.
which seems like yesterday, and it also seems like forever ago.
Yes.
I have been in the plumbing profession since I was 17, so since 1997. Now you all know how old I am. Um, but 6 years with another company, and I really got discouraged with how plumbing companies were perceived, and for good reason. There were a lot of companies, and there are still companies out there not doing it with integrity. There's a lot of scammers out there. So at 25, I decided rather than going to another company to get my brave on and do it my way.
Love
And
it.
that it never looked back. There have been days where I went, what the hell was I thinking?
Sure.
But most days, I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do and the difference that we make within the community by doing it with a value system that comes first.
Sure. So, tell me a little bit about what those values are.
So specifically, we have 12 values in the company that lead every decision that we make. Some that come to light right there at the beginning is honestly teamwork. My entire team, we all work really hard together to make the end result for the client one as peaceful as possible. No one wants to call a plumber,
Sure.
but we want to make right. It's not like buying a fancy pair of shoes, right?
Right.
It's not something you necessarily want to do. It's a necessity. But and then leading with integrity and honesty. So we actually honor our technicians and our office staff for leading with values. So for us, integrity means they did the right thing, even though no one was ever going to know. They're always honest. Like I can trust them. If they made a mistake, they're going to tell me I made a mistake. We're going to just make it right. But just always being honest and being able to trust them. I can trust them with the little things, so I can trust them with the big things. So there's just a huge process. They have to actually sign and agree that they'll uphold these values to be employed here. Otherwise, it's a fireable offense. So I'd rather them be honest with me and tell me they made a mistake rather than lie. And,
Sure.
it's a thing, so
Sure.
there's that wiggle room. We're all humans and humans make mistakes. So we actually call those mistakes or blooper reels. We all learn from them and move forward.
Yeah.
But those are the ones like super important off the top. But the fourth one is honestly, as far as importance that really seems to be within our community, is family. As a small company, everybody matters and everyone becomes interwoven. We all know each other's goals and, saving up for a house or I'm saving up for a car, like all of these things. So we become very interwoven as a community, a culture, and a family, which of course means we have, disagreements. And as long as I win, everything's fine. So, I mean, it really is where, every week we actually go through and everyone honors or acknowledges someone for representing the company values. And that
Amazing.
being at the forefront just makes everything. I enjoy coming to work every day, which is nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love, that you've really woven those values into day-to-day, operations with staff. That's great. So I know, plumbing is a very broad, topic, but what are some of the services that you provide at Robbins Plumbing and what are your hours?
So we're a 24-hour emergency company, which means we have
That's
standard
awesome.
operating. Right. So we have standard operating, business hours Monday through Saturday. But if you have a problem at 2 a.m. and you're flooding, the last thing you want to get is an answering service that says, I'm going to page the plumber.
Right.
We're authentic, 100%, a 24-hour emergency company. And what that means to
Wonderful.
us is that an employee that works here is answering the phone at 2 a.m. They know
Okay.
exactly what to do. They know exactly how to reach the technician. And a lot of times they can help alleviate the emergency part, like walk you through how to shut off your water heater that's flooding or your
Yep.
home that's leaking, or stop flushing that toilet because it's just going to keep bubbling everywhere,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, and getting the technician out, right away. So technician's always on call, rotating series of events there. But, typically at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're out and there in 30 minutes, which, I mean, seems like forever when you're, flooding or, whatever the emergency is.
That's pretty
But
quick though.
yeah, but I think sometimes it's quicker than calling 911. So it's 24 hours. And as far as the services we provide, I want to specify that we're not a new construction company. So we're residential and commercial service, and that is clearly aligned. Us as professionals, we know what that means. But it means, we're not building homes, but we're fixing everything within a building that's plumbing related or even outside. So water heaters, toilet replacements, water filtration, water softening, you name it. If it's something to upgrade your home or repair in your home that's plumbing related or in your business, that we do all of that, just not the actual building of the structure.
Sure. Okay. And I know here in, kind of the uptown Phoenix area, most of us have homes that are, 1950s, 1960s, and, you and I talked about this offline, but I know the condition of the pipes is a big concern for a lot of these homes. So how can we get to know a little bit more about the condition of the pipes in our homes?
So honestly, in my experience over the last 23 years, ultimately any home here in the Phoenix area that's older than 20 years should be inspected regularly. So the homes that you're referring to, in the 1950s, things like that, cast iron pipe was very popular.
Yep. I have it in my house.
Right. And that's specifically what's under your foundation. And what cast iron pipe does over time is it rusts, and which makes the inside diameter of your pipe like Velcro. Everything sticks to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So things that in an ABS line or a PVC line are just going to go through, well, metal rust. So it always fascinated me that they chose to use cast iron and water. I mean, science didn't change, but that's all right. But it really does make it very coarse, and over time it can crack, have holes in it, and things like that. So if your home is from the 1950s, that kind of area, you can even have Orangeburg running from the house out toward the street or toward the alley if you have, whether your plumbing runs from the front or the back. But I always advise my clients, one, if you're about to buy a home that's 20 years or older, have a sewer inspection done, and not just a visual inspection. So this is a big difference. There's a lot of companies out there that do camera inspections, but they're only giving you a visual inspection of the inside of the line as part of the home inspection process. That is not enough information. So we'll get requests for quotes all the time, but we don't have the information we need. Yes, I can see the inside of your line, and I confirm that, yes, there's roots or there's a belly, or, the line's cast iron and it should really be resurfaced or replaced. But I don't know the depth. Is it 2 feet deep? Is it 8 feet deep? Is it 6 feet deep? It's a big difference to dig 2 feet down or 8 feet down.
Absolutely.
Huge difference. So that information isn't provided with a typical camera inspection. That's just a visual inspection. What you need to have is also a locate. So if there is a problem, let's say roots in the line, so yes, you visually see it, what you need to know in order to repair that, to even quote to repair that, is where is the problem. If you're looking out into your yard, you don't know where that is.
Right.
So that's what the locating part of it does. One without the other, to me, is absolutely useless. So looking out there, we need to know, is the root intrusion or the belly or the break in the line, is it under a sidewalk, a concrete slab, driveway, patio? Is it, like I said, 2 feet deep or 8 feet deep? So when you're buying or a home and you're going to have the home inspection, you're going to have a camera inspection, make sure that whether it's us, we always have a locate, but if you're hiring someone else to do that, that they do the locate as well, not just the visual inspection. Otherwise the camera is absolutely useless and you have to do it again.
There can be a little bit of a difference between a high pressured sales discussion versus a consultation. And I know you guys at Robbins Plumbing take more of the consultation approach. So tell me a little bit about that.
So that was one of the biggest reasons that I started the company when I was 25, is the plumbing industry as a whole has a really bad reputation of overselling or high pressured sales. And it just, I'm really, really proud to be in a trade, specifically plumbing. I'm proud of what we do. I'm proud of what we contribute to the world. I mean, imagine the world without plumbing working for even a day.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's like, no, that would be horrible. Right.
Yes.
But there are definitely the stories that I would hear from people, when they hear I'm in plumbing, I had a plumbing problem, and the guy came out and, he tried to pressure me into buying this, and he tried to pressure me into buying that. And, I bought it just to make him stop, kind of thing. And that just made me feel horrible about something I'm so proud of. So we take a very different approach here. We provide consultation. So one of our values is education, and we want to always educate a client so they make an informed decision. I can't choose their water heater for them. I can only educate them on the options available to them. So for me personally, my home, the best option for me and my needs was a hybrid. But for someone else, it may be, I want a tankless, or I want this. So my guys are all trained that you provide options, you educate, so they know, if they're going to be in the house for the next 20 years, they want this kind of water heater. Or if they're only going to be in the house for 2 years, they want this kind of water heater. They need to know what's out there and to be educated. And we're not attached to the decision that they make. We're attached to the information that they receive, so they make an informed decision. And then that's what keeps clients coming back, is they never feel that icky, you forced me into something. We're giving them, here are your options, which is the right for you in your home. And that is really, really, really important to me. It's also important to my guys, like, training them coming in, and a lot of them are coming in from scratch. And I'm like, well, what do you feel about the word sales? And they, used car salesman, and they feel icky. I'm like, okay, I got you. They want to be plumbers, not salesmen. So it's really about, not pressuring anyone to anything other than, hey, let's take, 10 minutes. This is a decision for the next 15 years. Let's take 10 minutes and make a good one, kind of thing. So that's really important to us, is the consultation versus a high sales approach.
Okay. I love it. I mean, that definitely makes me feel good, more of like a personal note. What are some of your favorite things to do in Phoenix?
Specifically Phoenix, I like to shop. So that was a little challenging this last year, because I love heading to the Biltmore and the Sonoma store, because I'm obsessed with, gadgets and cooking and things like that. So there's lots of incredible restaurants in the Phoenix area. Come on, we're Phoenix. We have some of the best Mexican food on the planet. My husband Dad comes into town from Minnesota, and all we eat is Mexican, because he can't get good Mexican food in Minnesota. I'm like, nice. Yeah. It's on.
Is there anything coming up that you want to share with the community?
Honestly, and I wanted to share something exciting or something new's coming, but that isn't actually what I want to make people aware of. Okay. I want to make them aware of the plumbing industry and where it is now, and set realistic expectations. Post-COVID, things are very different. And what we used to be able to just go to a local plumbing supply house and buy now is on back order for sometimes months at a time. For example, tankless water heaters, that kind of thing. Like, we're all grasping and trying to find them. A gas permit, for example, we used to think it was a pain in the butt to go down to the city of Phoenix, find a parking spot. It's a nut house down there in downtown. But now I look back and I'm like, I had no business complaining, because what was a 2-hour pain in the butt process is now we have 6 weeks. We have clients waiting for gas permits, and it's this exciting time. People are buying homes, and they're wanting to upgrade them and make them into their castles, right? And they're wanting to add, gas barbecues and gas fire pits and things like that. And Well, it's all sitting there and it looks beautiful, but it can't be used because we're in a queue for a gas permit that's, at this point, we've had several wait for 6 weeks. So
Wow. Okay.
just to be patient with the plumbing profession, and your tradesmen all together, because we're getting emails daily. The price just went up. The price just went up again. Water heater pricing since January has gone up 4 times already at 10% increments. So
Wow.
almost 40% in half a year of a price
Wow.
increase. I've been at this for 23 years. I mean, that kind of price increase happens over, a 5-year period, not a 5-month period. So I guess my biggest thing is, one, be patient, have the plumber set realistic expectations. But if you've been putting off something that's plumbing wise, now's the time to do it, because pricing's not going to go down. It's just going to keep going up.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, I appreciate the realism too. Sometimes I think we need that reality check a little bit, and I appreciate that. Um, is there anything else you want to add, Stephanie, before we sign off?
No, I just want to thank you. I think it's wonderful what you're doing, trying to, bring small business awareness and into the community. I think it's awesome. So, and I hope you're super, super successful doing that. There's a lot of great companies out there, and they should be connected with great people.